General rules. Number 1, bio BBs only. Number 1 continued. No non-bio, glass, or metal BBs. Number 2, red dead rag is required. Number 3, only live fire is to be done at Chrono or on the AO. No dry firing in parking or staging. Number 4, barrel bags are required for all events. Number 5, everyone on the AO must have a completed waiver on file for the current event prior to entering the AO. Age requirements. Number 1, minimum age is 10 years old for P3 events. Number 2, ages 10 through 14 must have a legal guardian participate in the event and not leave the minor unaccompanied at any time. Number 3, ages 15 through 17 must have a legal guardian present at the event or transfer of guardianship to a player 18 years or older. Real steel. Number 1, no real steel firearms are ever to be present at a P3 event, even if they are modified to shoot blanks. War crimes. Number 1, all events are point driven to determine the winner. Number 2, you break the rules, it will count against your faction and possibly get you removed from the current event, if not banned from P3 events. Eye protection. Number 1, full seal ANSI Z87.1 goggles only. Number 2, no mesh goggles. Number 3, shooting glasses only if gaskets and inserts are used. Number 4, eye protection must be on before you enter the AO and stay on while you are on the AO. Face protection. Number 1, full hard face pro required for anyone under the age of 18. Number 2, face pro is recommended for everyone else. Number 3, face protection when required must be on before you enter the AO and stay on while you are on the AO. Staging safety. Number 1, barrel bag must be on when you leave the AO and stay on till you enter the AO again. Number 2, when leaving the AO, you must clear your weapon, mag out, and dry fire, and put your barrel bag on. Notice the process of mag out, dry fire, barrel bag on, disconnect air. If you don't need to disconnect air, then don't worry about it. Number 3, guns and holsters must stay in holsters. Number 4, treat airsoft guns like real guns. Treat every gun as if it's loaded, keep your finger off the trigger, and point the gun in a safe direction. Number 5, box mags out. Notice he follows the same procedure with the box mag out, dry fire, disconnecting air, and putting on his barrel bag before he leaves the field. Callouts. Number 1, real world. Used if there's a real world emergency. Number 2, blind man. Used if someone's eye pro is removed for any reason. Cover them up and help them get their eye pro back on. Number 3, admin. Used to get the attention of the admin. Number 4, game on. Game starts or restarts after a real world or blind man. Number 5, index. End of exercise or game over. Player searching. Number 1, killed or captured players may be searched by an enemy player if reached prior to the end of the hit player's 5-minute bleed out. Number 2, unless part of the gameplay, which will be role-playing via admin, PLs, or aces, players cannot capture other players. Number 3, to search a player, you must be able to touch them on the shoulder, say I am searching you,
I am searching you,
and not have anything between you and the player being searched. Number 4, at this time, the search player must give up any and all intel they have in their possession.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Number 5, you cannot search players over or around objects or through doors or windows. Number 5, players cannot be searched after they have bled out and are on their way to respawn at Bob.
Hey, let me search you.
I can't, bro. I'm dead. I'm going back to Fob.
Uniform requirements. Number 1, only listed camos are allowed and are restricted to each faction. Number 2, failure to comply with uniform restrictions will result in ejection from the event and war crimes. Number 3, no shirtless play or tank tops are allowed. Number 4, bottoms must be pants, no kilts or shorts. Number 5, inclement weather does not change the uniform requirements. Come prepared. Rain gear, ponchos, and jackets must match faction colors. Number 6, gear color, plate carrier, chest rig, belt, and backpack does not matter, but it is encouraged to match your faction colors. Number 7, ghillie suit colors must match your faction base colors. Number 8, headgear color must match faction colors and camos. This includes paintball mask, helmet, hats, and face coverings like schmucks and balaclavas. Number 9, Red shirts and jackets will only be worn by staff. Number 10. Photographers and videographers must wear high visibility colors other than red and cannot look like combatants. American Defense Force. Multicam, Tan Coyote, DCU Chocolate Chip, Multicam Arid, Desert Tiger, AOR-1. Eurasian Axis of Power. OD Ranger, M81, CADPAT, Multicam Tropic, Tiger, and EMR. Construct Militia. Plaid, Hawaiian, Denim, nothing red as that's for admin. You are allowed to have bottoms that match the faction you are teamed up with or that do not match the faction you are facing. Red Diamond Contracting, black, white, gray, Multicam Black, Multicam Alpine. Chrono. Number 1. You must chrono every replica that you intend to use. Number 2. A minimum of 3 rounds across the chrono that are measured by the chrono are required. Number 3. You may be asked to chrono at any time during the event. Number 4. Only airsoft guns, no converted guns or BB guns. Number 5. All guns regardless of AEG, HPA, or GBB will chrono with the BB weight based on the class of the gun. Number 6. HPA and GBB, if adapted to use an external air source, will require their regulators to have a tournament lock in place from P3 Chrono. Number 7. Chrono BBs will be provided by P3. Number 8. Sidearm is any pistol caliber or shotgun weapon system meeting the rifle or SMG class restrictions. Sidearms are limited to 3 mid-cap or real-cap mags. Number 9. Ballistic shields are allowed, but they must be real. The operator of the shield is the only one who survives a grenade if the shield is against the ground and the operator is completely behind the shield. Ballistic shields must be approved by game staff. Number 10. Riot shields are not allowed. What is the difference? A ballistic shield is about 35 pounds, and a riot shield is just a curved piece of plexiglass. Let's go over classes now. So we have an SMG class, which is going to have a joule limit of 1 joule. It's going to chrono on 0.32 gram BBs. It can shoot full auto or semi-auto. It has no minimum engagement distance. It must shoot a pistol caliber round. Drum mags are not okay. Adapters that change the caliber are not okay. You are allowed 7 mid-caps or real cap mags and limited to 30 rounds per second max. Rifle class is limited to 1.5 joules or less. You'll be chronoed with a 0.32 gram BB. You are allowed semi only. There is no minimum engagement distance. Drum mags are not okay. Adapters changing the caliber are not okay. And you are limited to 7 mid-cap or real cap mags. The LMG class, or the light machine gun. You are chronoed at 1.5 joules or less. You'll be chronoed with a 0.32 gram BB. You are allowed full auto only. You have a minimum engagement distance of 50 feet. You must carry a sidearm with no minimum engagement distance. Box mags are required. 1 box mag, no specific round count. Must be equivalent to a real steel 5.56, 5.45, or a 7.62 by 39 based weapon. 30 rounds per second max. The DMR class, or the designated marksman rifle. You will be chronoed up to 2 joules or less. You will be chronoed with a 0.48 gram BB. You will be allowed semi only. You have a minimum engagement distance of 75 feet. You must carry a sidearm with no med. You are allowed 7 mid-cap or real cap mags. Magnified optic and bipod are required. You have a 16-inch minimum barrel length is a requirement. It must be equivalent to a 308 or 7.62 by 51 caliber or larger. The MMG, HMG class, or the medium or heavy machine gun. You will be allowed to chrono up to 2 joules or less. You will be chronoed with a 0.32 gram BB. You are allowed full auto only. You have a 75-foot minimum engagement distance. You must carry a sidearm with no med. Box mags are required. Bipod is required. You are allowed 2 box mags, no specific round count. It must be a 308 or a 7.62 by 51 caliber or larger, and you are limited to 30 rounds per second max. The bolt action class. You are allowed to chrono up to 3 joules or less. You will be chronoed with a 0.48 gram BB. You are bolt action only. You have a 100-foot minimum engagement distance. You must carry a sidearm with no minimum engagement distance. And you are allowed 7 mid-cap or real cap mags. Now the fun part, our weapon systems. SMGs. We allow the Chris Vector, the P90, the SIG MPX, the APC, the MP9, the GHM, CZ Scorpion Evo, the MP5, the MP7, the Scorpion VZ61, the Thompson, the UMP, the UZI, the MAC-10, the MAC-11, any pistol carbine conversion kits, the PMX, OTS 126, the MK7, the GAT, the Spectra, the FPG, the Model 12, the Sterling L2A1, the PPSH 41, the Sten, the MP40, the Grease Gun, the Type 100, and the MP18. Number 2, rifles. We allow the AR-15, the M4, the M16, the AK, the SIG MCX, the AUG, the FAMAS, the FN2000, the G36, the Galil, the 416, the L85, the ACR, the PDW, the SCAR L, the SIG 550, 551, 552, and the 553, the SR-47, the TAR-21, the Type 64, the Type 89, the RDB-17, the UBR, the CZ-805, the ARX-160, the PDR, the MDRX, the GNC F-76, any lever-action rifle, the M1, M2 carbine, the STG-44, and all shotguns. Number 3, the LMGs. We allow the 249, the Mark 46, the Stoner 63, the Stoner 96, the Shrike, the RPD, the RPK, the MG4, the MG36, and any AR LMG with the LMG upper. Number 4, DMRs. We allow the FAL, the G3, the 417, the G28, the M14, the SCAR H, the ASVAL, SR25, the M110, the SVD, the M1 Garand, and the Gewehr 43. Number 5, MMG and HMG. We allow the M60, the M240, the minigun, only the M134, the PKM, the PKP, the BAR, the M1918, the MG42, the Mark 48, the Bren ZB30 or the 26, the Type 96, and the M1919. Number 6, bolt action. We allow the L96 and the variants of that, the M700, the M24, the M28, the M40, the VSR10, the M107, the M82, the M200, the M99, the M98, the MB4410D, the MB4408A, the DSR-1, the SSG-69, the Steyr Scout, the M50, the TRG M10, the SV-98, the Kar-98, the M1903, the Type 38, the Type 97, the Type 99, the Lee Enfield, and the Mosin Nagant. Number 7, if you fail to have the correct requirements for the higher energy classes, you will be chronoed as a rifle. Number 8, if your replica is not listed, you can try to get it approved by P3 prior to game day. Roles. Number 1, squad leader. You are allowed 1 per squad. If they run any other class of weapon, it counts towards the max amount of roles that relate to that class. They will be given a patch or ID to distinguish them as these roles. Number 2, medic. You are allowed 1 per squad. If they run any other class of weapon, it counts towards the max amount of roles that relate to that class. They will be given a patch or ID card to distinguish them as these roles. Number 3, rifleman. You are allowed any number per squad. They can run either the SMG or the rifle class of weapon. Number 4, squad support gunner. You are allowed a max of 2 per squad. They can run either the LMG or the MMG HMG class of weapon. Number 5, the designated marksman. You are allowed 1 per squad, and you can run the DMR class. Number 6, sniper. You are allowed 1 per squad, and you can run the bolt action class. Number 7, dual role. If a squad member runs 2 or more roles by themselves, each role will count toward the maximum roll amount. They will be held to the mag restrictions of 7 mid-cap or real-cap mags. You cannot dual roll with the LMG or the MMG HMG role. Healing. Number 1, 2 heals total. A, both can be ace bandages, which are both used by the medic but can be carried by anyone. Here you can see that the medic comes in, takes out his ace bandage, wraps it around the arm. This is neatly done, layer over layer, and then when the medic gets to the end, he neatly tucks the rest of it under the layers. At that point, the player removes their dead rag, stores it away properly, and is back in the game.
Hit!
The player is then hit a second time, pulls their dead rag, takes the knee, waits for the medic to show up, When the medic does, he does on another extremity. This can either be the upper arms, the lower arms, the upper legs, or the lower legs. Takes out his ace bandage, wraps it layer over layer neatly. When he gets to the end, he takes the remaining bit and tucks it under the other layers. Then it's back to the player to remove their dead rag, put it away properly, and they're back in the fight. One, 2 heals total. Option B, one can be the P3 tourniquet as a buddy heal, and the second an ace bandage used by the medic but carried by anyone.
I got you, buddy. Oh, you're on. Okay, good.
Good. Hit!
As you can see, the player gets hit again, pulls out their dead rag, takes a knee. The medic then comes over, pulls out their ace bandage, applies it to another extremity, cleanly wrapping it layer over layer. Once they get to the end, they take the remaining bit of the ace bandage and they tuck it under the cleanly wrapped layers. At this point, the players remove their dead rag, stow it away properly, and are back in the game. Number 2, medics cannot reuse or take bandages from dead players except when they're at the fob. Number 3, medics cannot treat themselves, but a buddy heal, only one, can be applied, or another medic can heal them. Number 4, cat or soft T tourniquets are not acceptable for healing in game. Number 5, a bandage is an ace bandage, no smaller than 4 feet. Number 6, pre-made loops or tying of the bandage is not allowed. Number 7, bandage must be neatly wrapped around the limb and neatly tucked away. Number 8, the medic role can be switched to another player at fob only. Drag rule. Number 1, the assisted drag is not allowed. Number 2, a player must be dragged as if they are incapacitated. Number 3, multiple players can drag a single player. Number 4, carrying is allowed, but you must get the down player up unassisted by the down player. Number 5, if you do not wish to be dragged, it is your responsibility to verbally communicate that to your squad and faction mates.
We're coming in for a drag!
No, do not drag me! Do not drag me!
Aid stations. Number 1, you can A, enter alive and remove 1 bandage, or B, enter dead and revive if you enter with only 1 bandage or less. This player only has 1 bandage and no dead rag. Notice how this player enters the aid station, removes his 1 bandage, stows it away properly, and then re-enters the game. Notice how this player has 2 bandages and no dead rag. Notice how this player enters the aid station, removes 1 bandage. He chose to remove his buddy aid as it's quicker to deploy, stows it away properly, and then re-enters the game. Notice how this player only has a dead rag and no bandages. This player enters the aid station, takes off his dead rag, stows it away properly, and re-enters the game. Notice how this player has a dead rag and 1 bandage. This player enters the aid station, and take note how he only removes his dead rag, stores it away properly, and then re-enters the game. Number 2, you cannot A, enter if you are dead, which is 2 bandages and a dead rag, you must revive at fob, or B, reload at aid stations. Notice how this player has 2 bandages and a dead rag. He will enter the aid station and be told to go back to fob, as you cannot revive at the aid station with 2 bandages and a dead rag. This player is breaking the rules because you cannot reload at the aid stations. Number 3, aid stations are deemed ineffective if it takes effective fire, meaning you cannot revive at the aid station. Here's your example of ineffective fire. You have 2 enemies way off in the distance lobbing shots in which you can hear, but they're not consistently hitting the aid station. Therefore, this player can revive and re-enter the game. Number 4, eliminating all enemies at an aid station and changing the flag to your factions allows you and your faction to use the aid station. Bang Bang, Surrender, or Parley. Number 1, there are no Bang Bang, Surrender, or Parley kills in P3 events. Melee. Number 1, all melee weapons must be checked for safety and marked by staff at Chrono. Number 2, no modifying real melee weapons for event use. Number 3, players are allowed to melee kill players only with melee weapons. You must have a melee weapon to perform a melee kill. Number 4, when a player is touched or tapped with a melee weapon, they are considered mortally wounded and cannot be revived. They must pull their dead rag and head back to respawn in silence with no bleed out. Number 5, only tap or half swing and avoid the head. Abuse of melee weapons will result in removal from the event. Number 6, melee weapons must be under 2 foot in all dimensions. Number 7, no throwing melee weapons. Grenades. Number 1, determined by event staff per AO. Number 2, if you don't know, then assume they're not allowed. Number 3, use your head. If you throw it, you're responsible for it. Number 4, 20-foot kill radius, no BB strikes are required. Number 5, you are safe behind hard cover that is bigger than you. Number 6, trees and shrubs are not hard cover. Here's a drone video to help you understand what a grenade can and cannot do. When the grenade is thrown, it's when it goes off is when everything applies. As you can see, it lands at player 1's feet. From here, we'll look at player 2 and player 3 and see how it affects them. Player number 1 is within the 20-foot kill radius and not behind hard cover that is bigger than him. Player number 2 is inside the 20-foot kill radius, but ducked behind hard cover that is bigger than him. Player number 3 is simply outside the 20-foot kill radius. Number 7, no blank firing devices of any kind. Number 8, any pneumatic gas grenades that require CO2 or green gas are allowed. Smoke. Number 1 is determined by the event staff per AO. Number 2, may not be used in buildings. Night game rules. Number 1, players will need eye protection with clear lenses that meet the same requirements as eye protection section of these rules in section 6. Number 2, players will need to have a flashlight. Number 3, players must have a red light device to signal that they have been hit. Number 4, the use of night vision, thermal, or other types of nods are allowed. Be respectful. Number 5, buddying up in pairs is encouraged. Number 6, any laser system must be eye safe. Number 7, players are never to aim the laser system directly at the eyes of another player or at any aircraft. Hits. Number 1, what counts? A, any direct strike from a BB to any part of the body or gear except your primary. B, deflections from vegetation count as hits. Whether it's a single hit you can't see, full auto fire, or a volume of fire, it all counts. Number 2, what doesn't count? A, ricochets. You can see the line of the ricochet that's going to happen in this shot. The player calls it but does not need to. B, primary gun hits. Switching to your secondary or sidearm changes which weapon is your primary. Being shot in your slung rifle counts. Number 3,
Clear's head!
what to do? A, yell hit. B, pull your required dead rag. C, take a knee or sit. You can move out of the way of incoming fire. D, expect to get shot at least 10 more times. E1, if you can be healed, you can wait as long as you want for a medic or buddy aid. During that time, you can still be searched. 1 eternity later. A buddy aid or a medic can show up and heal you, no matter how long you wait, if you can still be healed. Once you're healed up, remove your dead rag, stow it away properly, and you're back in the game. The other option, number 3, what to do. A, yell hit. B, pull your dead rag. C, take a knee or sit, meaning you can still move out of incoming fire. D, expect to get shot at least 10 more times. 3, E2, if you cannot be healed, you will wait 5 minutes and then walk back to the appropriate respawn location based on your status. 5 minutes later. After waiting your 5 minutes, the player can make the call to get up and walk back to FOB.
Clear's head!
Once you get to the aid station, mobile respawn point, or the FOB, you can re-enter the game. Number 4, what not to do. A, call your target's hits. B, get mad about being shot multiple times. If you feel this is malicious, get a game admin involved. Do not handle it yourself. Number 5, friendly fire counts as a hit. Simple, just call it. Shooting rules. Number 1, no blind fire. A, you must be able to see your rear sight, your front sight, and your target. B, you must be looking down your rifle while firing. C, if you cannot fit your head through the gap you are shooting through, then you are considered to be blind firing. D, cameras or mirrors to shoot around or over obstacles is not allowed. E, you cannot hide behind glass or plexiglass and shoot your weapon while exposing only the weapon system. Number 2, aim for gear out of courtesy if you can, but shoot what they show you, even if it's gonna hurt. 3, if shooting a DMR, LMG, MMG, HMG, or sniper from an enclosed structure, 3 walls or more around you, 6 feet or higher, showing here with wall 1, wall 2, wall 3, and wall 4. Your barrel must break the plane of the window or doorway you're shooting out of for at least 6 inches. Number 4, if you are on the 2nd floor or higher, shooting rules number 3 does not apply. Honor. Number 1, not calling your hits is cheating and will not be allowed, period. If you suspect a player of not calling their hits, do not handle it yourself. Raise it up the chain of command and get some staff or admin involved. Number 2, dead players are dead, meaning they can only call for a medic. They don't communicate, they don't move, they don't signal to live players, they don't raise or move their guns. By doing anything other than staying still and calling for a medic, you might get you shot. Number 3, listening or interfering with radio frequencies is strictly prohibited unless allowed by admin. Number 4, secretly monitoring via misrepresentation or espionage of opposition forces by attending briefings or electronic warfare is prohibited. Number 5, airsoft is a sport of honor. You cheat, you are disrespecting yourself and others, and it will not be tolerated. Number 6, you want to be part of the community and make it better? Then be better.